Okay, so here's a very quick introduction into Photoshop. You can access Photoshop on the Manage Desktop computers through the Applications menu. So you load Applications, go in Start, Load Applications menu, then from the Applications menu you choose Graphics and then Photoshop. I'm working on a Mac at the moment. It might look slightly different, but all the tools are the same and all the menus are the same. So first off, I'm going to create a new file. So it's File, New, and you get some options for the width, height, resolution, and the color mode. If you're working for web, you should stick to 72 pixels per inch resolution and RGB color, and the width and height in pixels. Photoshop comes with some presets, so I'm going to choose a web preset, and for the purpose of this I'm just going to keep this at 640 480, but you might want to choose something a little bit sort of larger, or some dimensions that actually fit the width of your actual website. So I'm just going to click OK. So I'm presented with a blank document. Now if I'm designing a website, there's a few tools that are essential. The first one is the default tool, which is the Move tool, and you can get to that at any point by clicking your V key, with the exception of if you're on the text tool. So then you've got your text tool as well, which is for creating text. And you've got this other tool here, which is the drawing tool, which lets you draw rectangles, circles, lines, etc. So I'm going to choose rectangle. If you ever have any of these buttons that have got this little triangle at the end, by clicking and holding down you can access sort of the other tools associated with it. So with the drawing object you can choose to draw rectangles, round rectangles, ellipses, etc. So all you do basically is draw a square, and then to manipulate that you choose your Move tool and then move it. You'll also notice on your Layers window, it's an important part of Photoshop, or layers, that shape has shown up there. If I draw another shape, so if I click off that shape, draw another shape, then that appears as shape 2, and I can, whichever layer I'm clicked on, I can move that shape. So another thing you can do from the layers is on the left hand side of the layers there's this little colour box, and I can double click that and I can change the colour. So just by moving this slider and that slider I can change its colour. So I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to change the colour of the top box as well. If I'm not quite sure which colour I want, I can drag my mouse over into Photoshop and pick a colour out of Photoshop. So I've got two objects there. If you click on the right hand side of each layer, sort of after the name, sort of there, double click, you get the layer style, and this is where you can apply styles to objects. So I can click on drop shadow, you can see that it's sort of created a drop shadow there, or I can click on stroke and you can see it's put a stroke around the outside. I can change its colour, thickness. I can have multiple effects on, so I can have a stroke and a shadow. but you must be sure to click on the actual item to be able to edit it. So whichever one you clicked on to stroke, you're editing the properties of that stroke. I can click shape 2, drop shadow, stroke. Or if I want to copy a style, I can click on the layer that I want to copy it from, use the drop down menu, you can't quite see that, and copy layer style, wherever that is. Maybe not on this one. Oh, just right click, copy layer style, and right click, paste layer style. So you've got the layers there. You can create new layers by clicking the little new layer icon at the bottom there. And what I'm going to do with this new layer is fill it with a white background. So the fill is the paint bucket. If you can't see paint bucket, it's most likely that it's on the gradient tool. So hold click the gradient tool and choose paint bucket, and then choose the colour. So to choose a colour, you use this colour chooser there. It's got two squares, the foreground and the background. So I'm just going to click on the foreground and choose white, which is right up the corner, and this is white. And then I just click, make sure that I've got the layer selected, and just click. You'll see straight away that the top shape's disappeared. That's disappeared because the layers are ordered, so from top up to bottom, and I've dropped layer 1 in the middle of these two shapes. So in actual fact, layer 1 is covering shape 1. So if I turn layer 1 off, you can see that. It's rather like stacking pieces of paper on top of each other, or things like that. So I want to get layer 1 underneath, so I just drag and drop layer 1 underneath. So I can create layers to my heart's content, and in a nutshell, that is drawing shapes.